I hate to be that guy, but my money's on this film being an absolute disaster. Hi y'all, Snarky J Cosplay here. From geeks to casual gamers and little kids who've been to Party City, we all know and love Super Mario Bros. Hell, we've seen Mario and his friends in everything from haunted houses, every sport you've ever imagined, to the iconic Mario Kart, and of course their own 8-bit platforming games. So it seems like anything you would slap Super Mario Bros. On or in would be a guaranteed hit, but somehow I'm not getting that vibe from the upcoming Super Mario Bros. Movie. Why? Well, I'm not just being negative for the sake of being negative, even though I take such pleasure in it according to my comments sections. I actually have 3 really good reasons as to why I think the Super Mario Bros. Movie is destined to fail. For one, they cast Chris Pratt as Mario. While I'm not gonna get into how divided public opinion usually is on whether or not Chris Pratt is a huge a-hole, I will say that casting him as Mario is one of the worst casting choices I've seen in recent years. Charles Martinet has been voicing Mario for years with that classic, over-exaggerated Italian accent we've all come to know and love. And not only does Chris Pratt not sound like Charles, but he's actually not doing that kind of Italian accent at all. From the sounds of it, he's almost going for like a New York type Italian accent, and to me it just doesn't sound like the Mario we all know and love. His big thing is that he's an exaggerated Italian plumber. He's always said that it's a me Mario thing, and there's just no point in Chris Pratt doing this if he's not gonna sound like he does in the games. Whatever he's doing here just doesn't feel very Mario, and in my opinion the rest of the cast is kind of a mixed bag. I feel like Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach is a great choice, and I absolutely love Jack Black as Bowser. From what I've heard of him in the trailers, he sounds absolutely phenomenal, but Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, I don't know about that one, Chief. And even worse than that, I love Charlie Day. I love him. I've seen all of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia like twice. I think he's a national treasure, but I just don't know that he's the right choice for Luigi. Maybe when you put him up next to Chris Pratt, he'll sound brilliant, but I don't know. Besides the cast, I also have zero faith in the writing. Yeah, so for those who don't know, Matthew Fogel actually wrote the screenplay for the Super Mario Bros. Movie. And that name probably doesn't mean anything to any of you. It didn't to me because I don't really know anything about screenwriters. But I did a little bit of research, and this guy's claim to fame is, yeah. He recently wrote the Minions: Rise of Gru. So Despicable Me, which was sort of cute, admittedly, that's not what he wrote. He wrote one of the Minions movie, and one of the badly rated Minions movies at that, and now he's writing Super Mario Bros. Another movie he wrote was Big Mama's Like Father, Like Son. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, Big Mama was a movie series starring Martin Lawrence in one of those man dressed as old lady roles. Sorry, you're not Mrs. Doubtfire, Mr. Lawrence. But our friend Matthew Fogel actually wrote the 3rd installation that has literally like 1.5-star ratings everywhere. It's the awful 3rd movie nobody wanted, and that's who is writing our Super Mario Bros. Movie. I'll give credit where credit is due and say that he also wrote the 2nd Lego movie, which wasn't too bad, but that's like the least offensive film on the list, so I don't think he's got a great track record. Judging by his previous work, it seems to me like this movie could be a cringe fest both for young and old audiences to criticize on Twitter. And of course, my final and biggest fountain of doubt here is the fact that video game movies literally always suck. Don't believe me? 2016's highly anticipated Assassin's Creed was so awful that it literally could not be saved, even by the incredible Michael Fassbender's acting chops. And this is coming from somebody who spent the better part of her adolescence writing "Nothing is true, everything is permitted" on literally everything she owned. The Warcraft movie was an attempt at a blockbuster that was so meh I almost forgot it existed, and honestly, it really didn't need to exist in the first place. And in case I haven't made my point, here's a couple other real quick ones. 2016's Ratchet & Clank was a complete letdown. 2005's Doom disappointed both moviegoers and fans of the Space Marines. 2007's Hitman barely had any plot and some of the worst dialogue I've ever heard. And I'm not even gonna talk about the Street Fighter movies. Clearly there isn't much more hope for video games being turned into shows either, because the writers of the recent Halo series didn't even even play the games before they wrote the show. I'm of the opinion that really we should just leave video games alone. We don't need a Super Mario Bros. Movie. It's a big enough franchise on its own, and we definitely don't need Chris Pratt and his writing friend Matthew Fogel to come and disappoint us all with this absolute flop of a movie. For these reasons, I'm fairly certain that the comment sections are going to be an absolute field day once this disaster of a film releases. And that's all from me. I've been Snarky J. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on the upcoming Super Mario Bros. Film in the comments below.